Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover what is honestly the greatest biological heist happening right inside our bodies. We usually think of sickness as an outside invasion, right? Like a virus or a bacteria crashing the gates. But today, we're looking at an enemy that's already inside the house. We're going to break down, step by step, the absolute masterclass in cellular espionage that lets the deadliest disease on the planet slip right past your biological security systems. To really grasp this, think about the sheer scale of what our bodies fight off every single day. It's wild. Right now, your immune system is actively identifying and terminating thousands of rogue, potentially cancerous cells. It's a silent war, and you win it 99.9% of the time. So, the big question, if our internal defenses are that incredibly lethal and efficient, why do people still succumb to this disease? Well, it's because cancer doesn't survive by brute force. It actively evades our biological security. See, it rarely wins in a straight-up head-to-head fight. Instead, it's evolved to be an absolute master of disguise. It wins by making sure the fight never even happens in the first place. So let's deconstruct exactly how it pulls off this vanishing act. Section 1, the setup, surveillance versus the invisible threat. Because before we can fully appreciate the heist, we really need to understand the bank's security system. And these are the heavy hitters of your immune surveillance system. They are patrolling 24/7 to hunt down abnormal cells. You've got your T cells acting like specialized detectives, constantly tracking specific threats. Then there's your natural killer cells, the rapid response SWAT team ready to terminate anything suspicious on the spot. And of course, macrophages, the cleanup crew engulfing the debris. Together, it's an incredibly sophisticated around-the-clock network. Now, how does the immune system know exactly who to trust? By scanning cellular ID cards. Every normal cell in your body waves this molecular flag on its surface, called an MHC-I molecule. When a patrolling T cell bumps into a normal cell, it scans this badge. The badge essentially says, hey, I belong here, I'm healthy, we're all good. The T cell gives it a thumbs up and moves on. It's a highly efficient checkpoint system. But here is where things get genuinely terrifying. Early cancer cells are supposed to have these badges too, right? But cancer undergoes something called MICH1 downregulation. It intentionally drops its ID card, so the immune system literally cannot see it. By trashing that molecular flag, the T cells scan the area and find absolutely nothing to latch onto. It is the biological equivalent of throwing on an invisibility cloak. Section 2, the playbook, cancer's 5 hiding strategies. Because, trust me, dropping the ID card is just the tip of the iceberg. Cancer actually uses these 5 major hiding strategies to systematically dismantle our defenses. We just talked about the first one, the missing ID badge. But cancer doesn't just rely on a single trick. Oh no. As a tumor grows, it deploys a multi-layered defense to ensure that even if one part of your immune system catches on, the cancer has a backup plan to survive against every other part. And this is where cancer stops just hiding and starts actively commanding the immune system to stand down. Strategy number 2 is brilliant, in a dark way. It's called PD-L1 overexpression. The cancer cell essentially slaps up a massive "do not kill me" sign. When an immune cell approaches, ready to attack, it interacts with this PD-L1 protein. That interaction literally acts as an off switch, telling the T cell, I'm totally fine, nothing to see here, retreat. And it actually tricks the immune cell into backing off. Strategy 3 takes it even further. It's like cancer builds an impenetrable fortress and then hires its own corrupted guards to keep the good guys out. Rather than just protecting itself, the cancer cell manipulates its surroundings. It recruits specific cells, regulatory T cells and myeloid-derived suppressor cells, whose normal job is just to calm things down after an infection. But the cancer hijacks them. It uses them to create a toxic, suppressive bubble around the tumor, where attacking immune cells just completely shut down. Then we have strategy 4, antigen loss. This is literally the biological equivalent of a criminal changing their face right after the police distribute their mugshot. As a tumor grows, the cells divide rapidly and mutate. So even if your immune system successfully memorizes the profile, the antigen, of the original cancer cells, the newer generations might mutate so they don't even display that antigen anymore. Your immune system ends up hunting a ghost. And strategy 5 is the ultimate sabotage. Cancer cells secrete a chemical called TGF-beta straight into their local environment. When patrolling immune cells wander into this chemical cloud, they aren't necessarily killed, but they are completely paralyzed. literally frozen in their tracks, entirely inactive, and totally unable to do their job. Section 3. The counterattack, stripping the disguise. Because once scientists decoded this exact playbook, everything changed. Understanding all these spy tactics led to the massive breakthrough of immunotherapy, which actively blocks that PD-L1 shield, so our immune system can certainly see and attack the enemy again. Remember that do not kill me sign we talked about? Well, drugs like pembrolizumab, which are known as PD-1 inhibitors, were designed to jam that specific signal. They literally cover up the cancer's off switch. Without that disguise, the cancer cell is suddenly exposed for the massive threat it is, and your body's own immune system wakes up and absolutely unleashes on it. To put into perspective why this is such a game changer, let's look at hepatocellular carcinoma, liver cancer. This exact PD-L1 expression is found in 17 to 40% of tumors. That is a massive target for these new drugs. Instead of the old approach, carpet bombing the body with toxic chemotherapy and just hoping the cancer dies before the patient does, we're now using precision intelligence. By simply ripping the blindfold off the immune system, we're turning the body's natural defenses into a highly targeted, cancer-eradicating weapon. And it gets better. New research is now combining these PD-1 inhibitors with CAR-T therapy to make our counterattack even more devastating. So the PD-1 inhibitors strip away the tumor's defenses. Meanwhile, CAR-T therapy takes a patient's own T cells out of their body, genetically engineers them in a lab to be super hunters for that specific cancer, and puts them back in. By combining the two, stripping the defenses, while deploying enhanced supercells, we are hitting cancer with an incredibly sophisticated 1-2 punch. Section 4. The shift, a shape-shifting enemy. Cancer is far more than just uncontrolled cellular growth. It's a signal-manipulating, immune-suppressing entity that has evolved specifically to survive inside you. So the next time someone asks you why cancer is so hard to cure when we already have a built-in immune system, you know the answer. It doesn't fight fair. It lies, it hides, it paralyzes, and it manipulates. But by finally understanding its playbook, we are no longer fighting blind. We are actively taking away its absolute best weapon. Its invisibility. If you found this explainer valuable, make sure you're subscribed, because next week we are investigating the TP53 mutation. It's often called the guardian of the genome, and you are not going to want to miss what happens when our deepest genetic security system fails. We'll explore how this single microscopic break can cascade into a system-wide failure and what modern science is doing to repair it. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.